guys, it's me, Tanner the Banana, and today I'm going to show you how to make your very own papercraft sword. And I know what you're thinking, Tanner, you already showed us how to make a papercraft sword. Why are you doing that again? Well, unless your papercraft swords have already been bent or are too heavy for you, then this video might be the video for you on how to make your very own papercraft sword. And I know what you're thinking, Tanner, isn't this the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time? Well, yes it is. However, I have altered the hilt, officially making it my potassium sword. Very powerful sword, imbued with the power of potassium and God's might. Why I decide to make it legendary, I have no idea. I just figured, you know what? Why not, right? But you know what else I did upon printing this? I've accidentally made a double print of the sword. So yeah, idiot mistake on my part, but hey, this is a perfect opportunity to teach you guys how to make your very own papercraft sword, and therefore won't bend or break or whatever. And it won't be very heavy, it'll just be super light to wield too. So after the project's been done, I do advise you do not aim anywhere at the head area at all, as that will injure someone very badly. And yeah, don't swing them very fast either. These are very durable, but that won't mean that these won't hurt, like, at all. They're just meant to be played around with. They're like plastic swords. They're meant to be played around with, not to be whacked around with at all. Anyways, that being said, let's get on to the tutorial. Alright guys, so to start things off, you're gonna need your tools. Those tools being a roll of packing tape, scissors, glue, and a glue spreader. This is just one of those straws that you learn how to make, and you just spread the glue around. But anyways, those are our assembling tools. But to gather the next tools, you're going to need a template. A template of any sword you want. It doesn't even have to be in pieces. It could be like any sword you want. You just need to put it on a separate sheet. And speaking of separate sheets, you're not going to need one print, but two for both sides. And yeah, I know, the yellow diamond is not colored in. Give me a sec. Gonna need to do that for the Master Sword. And there we go, we have our yellow diamond. And we're going to need some poster board and some cardboard right over there. First things first, you're going to want to put all of your templates together. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to cut them all out and then put them all together. Okay, now we are done assembling the templates and taping it, or rather gluing it, onto the post board. So if you want to start off by taping up the whole template together and then just gluing it on there, you can. Or you can just put each and every individual, you could just glue each and every individual piece right on the post board, just like I did right there, right now. Now, this is the method I would suggest, since this one is a little more messy and it's not really catching glue in some areas. Nevertheless, it's absorbing all the glue. The glue is going to dry soon. And yeah, we're going to wait for this whole thing to dry and we'll be back in a moment. See you guys soon. Okay, so now that the glue has mostly dried, we're going to cut out both of these templates right off the foam board. We're not going to glue the foam board onto the cardboard just yet. We need to cut these out first. As you can see here, I've glued the foam board right onto the cardboard and then glued the template on and then cut the whole thing out, and it looks a little messy, as you can see from the white parts. That's why I'm going to suggest to you to cut them out of the foam board first before we put them onto the cardboard. Alright, I'll cut them out and I'll see you guys in a bit. Sorry guys, I forgot to mention that there was a golden rule to cutting out crafts with printed on templates. You gotta lay a plastic covering over it, such as packing tape. That helps very much to prevent the scratches on your template. I was fortunate enough to not get any of the scratches. But if you are going to do the thing, I would suggest putting over packing tape. Anyways, now that we're done cutting out the sword, the blade templates, we're going to trace them over the cardboard. And then we're going to cut out the trace so that we can glue the sword pieces right onto the cardboard, because it's going to help with the structure to remain strong. And now that you're done cutting out the cardboard tracing on the, cardboard, and glued the foam template right on, you might notice that the tracing is a little too big. So if you need to cut out the edges, you can definitely do so. But the next thing we're going to work on is we are going to work on making the rod that goes in between the two sides of the same sword. So, if you don't know how to do it already, I will show you. The first thing you're going to need to do is take a corner piece, roll it up nice and tight, and roll it right over to the end. Right over to the end, quickly as possible. You might notice how long it is right now due to the length of the paper. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of tape, then you're going to tape that flap in right over here, and voila! And you can do this for as many times as you need to, depending on the length of your sword. Anyways, I'll go through 3 more straws and then show you the rest of what you need to do. Okay, so now that you're done making your sticks, you gotta stack 2 of them widthwise, and then the other 2 widthwise. After you form them into 1 thick stick, you take the 2 thick sticks and then you form them lengthwise. And then what you're gonna do with this rod is you're going to stick them in between the 2 sides of the same sword, and you're gonna wrap it all inside the tape. You're gonna wrap a whole lot of tape on the outside, while this is on the inside of these 2 swords right here. Coming back to that. Would be a good time to mention that you should probably tape the rod on the inside of the one side, just to make things a whole lot easier. Then you can just cover the whole thing up, wrap it all around, and, well, done is done. And that is how you officially make your very sturdy papercraft sword. And you know why it is very sturdy? It is because it is layered with not just foam board, but also cardboard, and the thick paper rod that we have created before, well, that's used to support the two ends of the sword, but it's also a means to help keep the sword stay as thick as possible so that it doesn't have any bends or damage to it upon contact with another blade or anything. Does it have to be the Master Sword, you might ask? No, it doesn't have to be the Master Sword. Are there certain templates regarding... Are there certain similar templates regarding other swords? Well, I highly doubt it. But But if you want, like, a sword, like, say, for example, a katana, for all of you anime fans out there, well, then you'd probably have to start with zooming in on the picture of the katana, and then you'd have to start with printing off the hilt, and then lower the image down little by little to get the specific parts that you want to make your fully fledged sword, such as your katana or your long sword or any other swords that exist out there, including non-existent ones. But anyways, this is just the example of how to make your very own papercraft sword, and I gotta say, this turned out pretty well. It's wielded the same way as my potassium sword is too. Maybe because it's the same template that I accidentally printed twice. But, yeah, that's how you make your very own, very sturdy papercraft sword. But, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.
Tanner, my boy. This sword is known as the potassium sword. It is imbued with not only potassium, but God's light as well. It is to be used for only good instead of evil. I trust you wield this sword with extra care. Be warned, though. If you use this blade for evil reasons, you will no longer be worthy of this blade, and it will return to its resting place where it will await a new wielder. Again, I trust you take care of this sword, as it will take care of you on your fine journey. Now go and save the world from chaos and destruction.
Roar!